Hi, welcome back to the Richard and Judy book club at WHSmith's. Our next book is quite extraordinary, actually. I'm not quite sure how to describe it because I've never read anything like it. It's an incredibly tender and quirky story. It's called No and Me. I should say that should be really No and Me, because it's written by a French author, Delphine De Vigan, who joins us here now today. And thank you, because I know your English is probably better than our French, but I know it's a little, you know, but it is an extraordinary book because it is seen through the eyes of a 13-year-old girl, Lou, and she is only 13. She's not sophisticated, but she is very clever. She is precociously intelligent, and she has set a school project. And she decides to write about the homeless. And she meets No, which is short for...
Nolwenn. It's Nolwenn.
Nolwenn. And explain about that name.
In fact, No for me means the loss of identity, and she's a young woman, a homeless young woman.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but when I invented her character, No came.
Right.
And then I searched how she could be named, because it's a nickname, and I found Nolwenn.
No.
Which is a name from Brittany, isn't it? From northwest France.
Yes, it's
and it's interesting because Nolwenn is a Welsh name and a Cornish name, and Brittany and Cornwall and Wales have a lot of linguistic connections. You know, they have similar words and similar names. That's interesting.
So Lou finds, as part of her school project, she goes to Gare Saint-Lazare, and she meets this girl who is older than her. No is 18.
Yes.
And she's sleeping rough. And Lou develops this very strong, protective relationship with No. She wants to help her. Who is Lou? Who is she based on? Was she based on you when you were a child?
I think yes, but in the beginning I didn't think she would be such an important character, you know. No, I wanted her to be a kind of mediator between No, the young woman, and the reader. And when I wrote a book, little by little, I understood Lou was probably the main character of the novel. And I didn't want that. It was difficult to accept that she will take so much importance. Yes, because I think she looks like the little girl I was, and her family background is very close to mine, and as if the autobiographical part of the novel came in spite of me.
But isn't that interesting? I mean, we're both writing novels ourselves at the moment, and it seems this is a universal experience amongst novelists. You find that the characters take you by the hand and pull you behind them, and things that you had no intention of writing, nothing was up there, happens on the page. So actually, Lou, she took control.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
And when I gave the first version of the manuscript to my publisher...
I thought you said your English was rubbish.
It's very good.
No, I'm a bit shy.
No.
And she told me, you have made half of the job. And I think it was because Lou was... I tried to...
push her down.
To push her down. And then I went back to the manuscript, and then she emerged really, and she took her place.
Well, let's talk about the scenes in the book depicting the Paris homeless, and they're universal. You could be writing about London, you could be writing about New York. It's all about sleeping in the subways and sleeping in doorways and stuff. But it's very, very real. It really jumps off the page at you. It's very, very true, vraiment, you know. I assume you went out and spoke to the homeless. Did you actually sleep rough yourself to get a sense of what it was like?
No, in fact, I've read a lot about that, watched a lot, and my mother, she's dead now, but she was a social worker, and she used to take care of homeless people. And in my family there are many social workers, so when I decided to write a book, I interviewed them to understand, and I read some testimonies of
testimonies
of two young women have written testimonies about their life on the street, and so I read and searched a lot, and then I forgot everything to invent my own story.
Well, it's very, very true to cruel life.
But I don't want to give the impression that this is a depressing story, because it isn't. It's basically about the flowering of a young girl and her difficulty in coming to terms with the horribleness of the adult world and the cruelty that exists. And in that, it is very tender. It's not. I mean, it's honest about homelessness, but it isn't all about homelessness.
No.
For example, there is Lou's parents. Her mother, who is so depressed because she has lost a baby to cot death, to sudden infant death syndrome. And actually she responds to No. I mean, they let No come and live with them, and it makes their home life much better. But inevitably, nothing is as it seems, and in the end...
Don't give it away.
I won't give the end away, but in the end, it is sad, but still very powerful that Lou comes through it and falls in love with her first boyfriend, and it's really lovely. Really lovely.
In fact, I wanted to tell the story of a dream. You know, it's a Lou's dream, and she wants to change the world. She's a teenager.
That's right.
She has many fantasies, utopias, and so on. So it's everything is seen through her eyes, and she's very funny. She has many strange ideas, and it belongs to her project. But she's both very naive and lucid in the meantime.
Absolutely, you do certainly. I was reminded of my childhood, really, in that innocence with which you see the world. When you think you're understanding it. For example, when I was about 13 or 14, I was convinced I was communist. I was quite sure I was an absolute communist because I believed in the simplicity of the communist ideal. You know? It just doesn't work like that. But you capture that very well in this young girl, her astonishment that the world is as it is, and how adults who are supposed to be running it can allow things like the homeless to continue. And yet you go on this journey with her, and she realises that actually changing things is très difficile. It's very, very hard. It's a pleasure to read. It translates very well. You wouldn't really know, would you, if it's translated well into English, but I can tell you it is.
Yes, I've heard that.
It is. No, it's very, very good. But it's very Parisienne. It has a strong French heart to it. You know you're reading about Paris. It reeks of Paris, actually. But it's a wonderful book.
Thank you. Thank you
we really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
very
much.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, we'd love you to get involved in all our books, of course, and we'd very much like to hear from you on our website, your own review of this book of No and Me by Delphine De Vigan. And you can also, we'd love you to get very involved with all 8 of our books. Tell us which is your favourite.
Absolutely, and you do that by going to www.whsmith.co.uk, I have to memorise this, /Richard and Judy. Thank you for being here, and thank you all for watching.